Hi guys. I never know how to start these videos, but so I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I said, or actually earlier today, and I said, Bryant, I want to make a video, but I'm not sure what I want to talk about. I'm so used to doing pick a cards or inner goddess work, and I said, what should I talk about that you think that people are curious about or want to know that I would have some sort of knowledge or experience with? And he immediately said, why why are people afraid of spirits, ghosts? And I said, that's a really great topic. I have experience with the other world of the spiritual realm. I used to be terrified of them. I mean, to this day, I still, they still catch my breath. I've dealt with them. Yeah. In my line of work, I deal with them. I'm learned by trial by fire, uh, paranormal activity in my home, and I learned how to get rid of it by talking to people, doing my own research, and getting in touch with my spiritual side and my gifts. And here I am, and I'm going to pass whatever knowledge I can think of to whoever is listening. So, why do people fear spirits or ghosts or um, whatever you want to call them? It really doesn't matter. And I really thought about this, and I think there's four major reasons. One, it's the fear of unknown and having to kind of deal with that whole notion of death and where we go after death and what happens, and just the mortality of us as humans on Earth, and how fragile our lives can be. Especially when we've lost loved ones that are close to us, we don't not knowing where they are or what's going on can be traumatic, especially if you feel like you've lost them before, their time, or tragically, or violently, or whatever. So that. Two, the way it's portrayed in Hollywood or in books, and this whole panic and fear and lack of control. Think of all the Poltergeist movies or all of the Stephen King books and movies, and how people are taught to fear it, and it's like this knee-jerk reaction. We immediately hear ghost or demon or jinn, and we're immediately like, what do we do? It's like you have those nightmares where you're stuck and you can't get away because your feet are planted on the ground, and there's this otherworldly thing attacking you, and you can't. It's scary not knowing what to do, and not being armed with knowledge and truths. Three, um, religion. Religion is a big part of why we are so fearful of so many things. Religion equals control, when spirituality equals freedom and liberation. Because religion, think about medieval Catholicism, Roman days, just how it was literally a government. The Pope was basically the emperor. I mean, and certainly is for the religious world still. It's certainly in Catholicism, and it was used systematically to control, for good reasons sometimes, but also not so good reasons, to control the masses. And the best and cheapest weapon is always fear. I mean, a lot of people will tell you that COVID was a huge fear tactic by the government. That it wasn't as bad, or maybe we don't really know. We're not at the front line. Religion is a big part of that, and I actually want to dig deeper with that here in a moment. But I think the biggest ones, Hollywood, the fear of the unknown, confronting death, and religion. Like, to me, those are the four major reasons why we are so fearful. Um, I really, what is also a big thing. It's like, well, what are they? We put names on them, and it's all down to your belief system. And a lot of times, religion is really plays a big major role of what you believe in. If you look back at, I was talking about the ancient medieval Catholic times, they didn't believe that there was heaven and there's hell and there's purgatory, and that the people who are in purgatory are the people that still have a chance and can kind of earn their way to get that golden ticket to get to heaven, or they have unfinished business. I think that notion we really kind of have to put to bed. There are so many ghosts or spirits that don't have unfinished business, and we don't need to sit there and try to figure out how to cross them over or any of that stuff. And we'll talk about that too, because they have a choice. They have free will, just like you and I, and they don't get stuck to places like people think. They can go wherever they want, whenever they want. They can. They're not stuck to places. They're more attracted to people and energy. And that place, like maybe a hospital or a place where it's seen a lot of death, maybe a home that has had a violent past and a wounded spirit of the home, it would be attracted to that. But it's not necessarily attracted to physical objects, but yet maybe the energy that's associated with those physical objects, but not the physical objects themselves, unless it's a portal. But though it's very rare, and it's so rare to the point that you'll see movies and conspiracy theories and about specific things that are haunted, or now I do believe that physical things can hold on to negative energy and that stuff, yes, which can then attract other things. But okay, to get back to religion, so you have the voodoo, and magic, and they believe with working with spirits and conjuring and bringing them forth and making deals. And then you have the Hindu and Buddhist, where they believe, because of reincarnation, the ghosts or the spirits or whoever are just reincarnated souls that are sorting out bad karma. Muslims, they don't believe in spirits at all. They just believe that you go to heaven or hell type situation, and the only otherworldly stuff that they believe are not good and are jinn. And that's also very similar to a lot of Catholics as well. It's although the newer Catholics and the new religious people, I will say, have become more open to the notion that it's not purgatory, schmurgatory. God is one divine source, and in my opinion, these people that have crossed over to whichever side can go wherever they want still. And there are plenty of ancestors of the light and ancestors of the dark. And the ancestors of the light will come and protect you and be there for you. Like, it might be a grandmother, it might be a distant relative, and those are your guides, those are your angels, those are your spiritual team that has your back. You see what I'm saying? And then you have the other side, your inner demons, your bad jujus that we all have, the yin and the yang. Accept it and acknowledge that you might have that literal devil and that literal angel on your shoulders. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just makes you human, a spiritual being with this humanoid vessel. Okay, so why do people fear? A lot of it is just the unknown. What you fear, it can really be a religious factor or an area factor or a cultural factor. My belief system is different than, person across the street or down the street, but I know from personal experience that no matter what, and this is where I feel a lot of people need to not be afraid, is that you are in control. If you don't want something in your home, they're not allowed to be there. You have ultimate control. You always have the biggest gun. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean that they're more powerful. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean that you don't know they're there. You'll know they're there. Get in touch with your higher self, and you'll know. Talk less, listen more. There are so many ways to get rid of them. You can instantly just be like, you gotta leave. And if you're religious in any way, use protection symbols like crosses or prayer to cleanse the area. I like to burn sacred smoke. I'm clearly a witch. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in all the ascended masters. I believe in angels, and I certainly believe in demons. And I've seen and I've felt all of their energies. I'm a very physical empath as well. I tend to feel energy more than I see it. I've gotten better at that as I've decalcified my pineal gland, but I think the biggest thing here is to understand that you have the ultimate control and there's nothing to fear. Because fear is the negative or the dark side's tactic of control. And the more you fear, the lower your vibrations are and the more susceptible you are to them to actually attach to you. And what happens when they attach to you? Yes, they can manipulate your thought process. Yes. They can drain your energy. Yes. It's real, people. You're more likely to be possessed by a spirit or a ghost than a demon or any of the other stuff. Not to say that doesn't happen. It's just there's only so many demons and there's so many people. But there's a lot of negative spirits in the world, just like there's a lot of positive spirits too. But at the end of the day, you know, you have free will and they do not have any right to your energy field or your aura or your body or anything without your consent. Now, they can trick you into getting consent, but you can easily just say to yourself, I take back all consent, even consent that was taken from me unknowingly. Thank you. And that is simply taking consent back. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your power. You have to trust the fact that you are in control and that there is nothing to be afraid of, because at the end of the day, you have the bigger gun. So, why do people fear spirits? It's because they've been not taught the truth. The truth has been hidden from us, that we are in charge and that we don't need a priest. I mean, if you want a priest to come help you, great. You don't need it. Unless you feel like it's, you know, there's exceptions to every rules, and there are such things as exorcisms and demons and all that other stuff. But 98% of the people that have some sort of paranormal issue can take care of it themselves. And there's nothing to fear. I will say, and I will talk about this another time, how do they gain access to you and find you and decide that you're the one for them? That's a whole other story for a whole other video, because this is already very long for me. But there's nothing to fear, because you are a sovereign state. And you have absolute number one decision over yourself. So, with that said, I hope this made sense. I tend to ramble, but I hope it made sense. Y'all have a good one.